So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Excerpts about the author, the companion episode to Excerpts podcast. My name is Glow. I'm your host, and I am here today with an excerpt about the author first. I have my first international guest all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, the beautiful, the multipotentialite, the 12-time published author, Miss Sabrina Oyinloye. Sabrina, welcome.
Thank you, man. That was some introduction.
So I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, Gloria. I really, really appreciate this.
It's my pleasure. It is 100% my pleasure. Talk a little bit about your author story. How did you become an author?
Okay. That journey actually was prompted by a friend of mine. He was actually my ex-boyfriend when we were in college. And when we parted in school, it wasn't like we actually broke up. So when we met again, it was actually a very funny reunion because I had moved on, he had moved on, and so he just came up with like, oh, so what are you doing now? Are you like writing big time? And I was like, writing, nah, life happens, and I did actually go that route. And he was like, why? You were so good. Why don't you try it? So he kept on about it, and I threatened him. I was like, hey, be careful. I'm actually write the story and kill you off in it. And he's like, oh, okay, maybe you should actually do it. So he challenged me, and he knows nobody challenged me. So actually, and I went ahead. I wrote a detective story, which he was a cop in it. So I sent it to him. I said, "Oh my goodness, you're going to die, but someone's going to like carry you off with bullets and all." It was like, "Oh really? You don't really, really hate me like that much?" So I wrote this very short story, sent it to him, and he said, okay, so what happened next? Then what happened next? Then what happened next? And that was how I started. And once I started, I just realized I couldn't stop. It was as if I had all these stories inside me that was begging to come out. So once I started, I just realized that the first book, the second book, the third book, it was just coming. And I now opened a Facebook group, which I was posting chapters of the book of my book, you know, online. And I initially thought nobody was reading it. I was just doing it like, oh, it's a public group. Anybody on Facebook will see it. Like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen. But I didn't get any comment, I didn't get any feedback. So I assumed nobody's reading it. So one day I decided, okay, let me just remove this and take it, just post some other ones. So I deleted a lot of things on the page. Then I started getting messages. Oh my God. I started getting messages like, madam, I was reading that. Why would you delete it? I was like, oh, sorry. I didn't know that. It was so overwhelming. Like I could be reading and I'll be laughing so loud with the comments I was getting. Like, why? Why would you post something that you know you were not going to finish? Like people were accusing me. I said, it's a good thing is online. You can't come to my house and beat me up. It was really, 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 really amazing. That was how I came up with a reading group, which actually turned to Sabrina fans group, where I post free freebies for people to read. And I get overwhelming support and comments and encouragement from my readers like every day. If a week goes by and I don't post anything on that page, yeah, there's going to be chaos. Like my phone will be ringing, like saying like messages coming in from Facebook, like, madam, hope you are okay, hope everybody's fine. So, bang your children. Okay, so now can you give us more of the stories, please? Can we give us? Then somebody said, oh, where can we buy your stories? Where can we buy your stories? When that started, I now started thinking of, oh, how do I do this? How do I send the stories out? How do I compile it, perform it well enough to sell it. Then I started getting messages from people in Ghana, that's outside Nigeria. I got one from Zimbabwe, and I was like, oh, wow, how am I going to get a book over there? So I realized that this is not a local thing anymore, that I needed to create a platform so that my books will reach everybody all over the globe. So that was my author story.
Wow, that is such a beautiful and amazing story. I love when someone one of my favorite movies is The Color Purple, and there's a scene in the movie where there's Shug Avery and there's Celie, and Shug gets sick and Celie goes in to give her a bath and scratches her head. And you later see down the line, they form this friendship, and you later see down the line that Shug is singing this song. Everybody, well, if you've seen The Color Purple, you know exactly what song I'm referring to. But before she even goes into the song, she says the line that this was scratched. Miss Celia had scratched the song out of her head while she was ailing. Now, you might not have been ailing, but someone did kind of help come and push
Yes,
you towards your destiny, and that is amazing. So as I mentioned, you have your hands in a lot of different things, and you have built yourself as a multi-potentialite. And I really gravitated to that statement because I hear about people that are multi-passionate. So they're interested in all these different things. And passion is the vehicle that drives you to potential, and potential is what kind of is the gas that carries you the rest of the way. So what fundamentals drive you as a multi-potentialite?
I love being creative. I love this idea of being the creator of something. This fulfilling energy when you start something from the scratch. And then when it's done, you look at this thing and you realize that it was an idea before, and you breathe life into it. There's this feeling, that I get. I guess that was why this issue of fashion designing actually also came in, because when you're into fashion designing, you get a concept, you draw it down, then you draft the pattern, you cut it out before you go into the clothing, and then you actually make it. So that end result have this funny way of making me feel somehow powerful. I love that feeling. So that is the same feeling I get when I write a book, something that was just a concept, an idea, and then at the end of the day, it's a story that's affecting changes and lives, that if people can read it and tell me, oh my, this is wonderful. This, I can actually see myself in the story. You touch lives. That is wonderful. I love that feeling. That is why I am like that. And I'm ambitious. I am very, very ambitious. And I'm also a quick learner. There's no way, if you are into a craft and you invite me to your world, and I see you and I sit down, we're gisting like we're gisting now, and I'm sitting with you. I'm not into your craft. I don't know what it's about. Just give me 1 week. I'll be able to assist you. I'll be able to help you to do exactly what you're doing. So apart from the fact that I make clothes and I write books, I also do graphic designing, because all my covers, I do it as well. I call myself amateur graphic designer. And this, I picked it up while hanging out with graphic designers. I don't know, it's just crazy like that. I'm just like that. When I'm with people that into a certain craft, I pick things. So that was how that word came about. So that when you see it, you know that this person standing here is like a kind of a jack of all trades. But I don't know, a numbered jack of all trades, something like that. Because I pick things really fast. And I love the feeling, that persisting feeling that you did this, you created this. I think that is that's my push. That's my push.
Wow. That is so exciting. So you guys, so Sabrina has written 12 books. And I mentioned it was 12 books. 12 books she has written with these amazing titles like Deja Vu, The Realm Surfer, and Prince Omatade, Rules of Engagement and Prejudice. But most importantly, she has written a book called The Hidden Scar, Tokophobia. And for those of us that don't know, tokophobia is actually the fear of pregnancy, which is a very interesting concept to write about, because it's a phobia that I had to go Google, because I was like, what is tokophobia? What is...
A lot of people say that, and that was why I did it. That was why I put the word there, to push people to find out what it's about.
Absolutely. But before we get into the actual meat of this book that I am also going to, you've sent me over an excerpt, we're going to read that over on the podcast side of things. Where do you find inspiration for your characters?
I find inspiration all around me, all my daily activities. I do people watching, and you never know where the concept is going to come from of a story. I might just be walking on the street. It might be a movie. It might be me reading some book that I feel this is poorly done. I can actually twist it and make it better. Or maybe it's somebody that I'm just standing there in a mall, and I'm standing there. I'm watching a woman or a man meet somebody with a genuine, some kind of a smile on her face, or the man, anything at all, body language, anything can just trigger the story inside me. Like there is one of my books, Imade. That story started with just one second encounter with a young man. I went to a restaurant and my car keys fell from the table and it dropped on the floor. So I picked it up on the floor. And when I raised my face, I saw this attractive young man. He was a waiter, so he came to attend to me. So now imagine a random woman somewhere meeting this lovely looking man. Well, how will that story go? And from there, I made this wonderful book that my readers, oh my God, you should see the review that I got on that book just with that single encounter. So anything can just spark that idea in me. It is crazy. It's just, so when people ask me that question, I say everyday experiences. Everyday experiences triggers a new story in me. I guess that's what makes me a prolific writer. So I guess.
Oh wow, I love the fact, because I too am a people watcher, so I kind of like to, I see someone and I'm like, let's make them more interesting than what they were, because
Exactly.
The world is so the world, and it can be so boring, but when you have a creative mind, the world can be so much more exciting. And one of the things I think is so cool,
you daydream about everything.
I do. I daydream a lot. I daydream. I've created universes and stories and all kinds of amazing things in my head, just because, somebody walked by and I liked what they had on, and they may have had some intrigue about them. So I think that is super, super interesting that your characters come from real people, and that you can expand on their reality and take us into these alternate realities. Now, let's get into it. The Hidden Scar, Tokophobia. Tell me a little bit about that book.
Hidden Scar is the story of a professional soccer player with a traumatic past that had limited his life experiences. A night of a passionate encounter with a stranger turned into a pivotal night for him that opened a door to a healing path he would not have embarked on. The Hidden Scar showed possible lasting effects of the loss of a loved one and how toxic but normalized cultural practices can affect human psyche. But ultimately, it shows how something as simple as a stranger's love can trigger something wonderful in our life. The story is very deep, very, very deep. And I've had wonderful reviews about it. It's it's a tearjerker. It's a very emotional book.
That is so cool that it is an emotional experience. So you write contemporary romance, and
Yes.
The Hidden Scar is a contemporary romance type
Yes, it
novel,
is.
but you
It's actually
also write.
sports fiction.
Oh wow.
It's sport, yes.
Okay, but you also write fantasy books, and I'm
Yes.
gonna assume that Deja Vu, the Realm Surfer, is part of fantasy. So how do you fuse this romance and fantasy? How do we get here?
Okay. There's something that triggered that story. Okay, so I forgot to tell you the other time. So I'm going to tell you now. This is me.
Okay.
I often have these dreams where I found myself different world. It sometimes feels like I've been in this world before. Like when you reincarnation, that is what it felt like. Like I might sleep and I'll find myself maybe in a war zone, maybe in chaotic kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that. It was when I sat down, because when you pick that book up, the first few chapters is like a memo. The first few chapters, sometimes a few of my readers, they told me it's a bit confusing. I smiled because if they actually, I feel like if people, I think a few people got it, that it started like a memo. It's like when somebody is confused and you sit down and you're trying to put your thoughts down, it's going to be a little bit rough to understand. So that's what the book started with a memo with the character trying to understand the strange dreams that she was having and putting it down on the paper. And then it started with how she met Ramiel, the angel that actually triggered the memory so for her to remember who she was. The Rent Stuffer is a story of me merging the old gods of Africa and the angels of the Bible, merging it together and creating a message, entertainment, inspiration, and also motivation for people. Because if you go and check the reviews of that book, you'll see some people, they will say, I'm not a Christian, but I learned a few things here. And then some people will say, I'm a Christian, so I got some messages here. I love that because it was like a buried treasure that I was expecting people to find. And I felt really, really happy that people actually saw it in the book. Because I actually portray the Bible as a God. So if you're not the type that is overly religious, you will understand that you don't need to be so mad, because nowadays you find that everybody is so against the Bible. I have no idea why. But I was able to put it in that book that the Bible is not, you're not supposed to feel any form of alienation with the book. It's supposed to be a guide for you to see what has happened before. So you find a story in that book that's going to tailor your life in the right path. So I was able to bury that message in that book while entertaining people and also infusing romance in it. Exactly. So that's what I do. That's my specialty, romance.
Oh wow. See, that's cool, because now, so this is what we have, guys. We've got the Bible,
Uh-huh.
we've got the orishas,
Yes.
and if you have if you like Greek and Roman mythology, you like Norse mythology, you
Uh-huh.
really should get into the gods of Africa, specifically
Yes.
the orishas, and
Uh-huh.
what that mythology looks like, because it's very interesting to see the same
And
themes play out.
the Yorubas, we have
Mhm.
similar mythology with the this historic Scottish history. Their
Really?
god. Oh yes.
Oh
You know
wow.
the god of thunder, that's the Thor.
Mm-hmm.
We have that in Yoruba, we call it Shogo.
Really?
Oh yes, we call him Shogo. It's actually one of my books, that Prince Omotade, which I spoke about that fact. We have
Mhm.
similar gods with the Scottish. We have similar gods. Yes. So it was interesting, and I felt it's something that is really, really deep. And I felt there's a lot of stories there that I could actually bring out and form a fantasy from. And it was an enjoyable ride for me, writing that book. It was an enjoyable ride.
I'm so I that makes my heart happy that you've enjoyed the process. It's also very cool to bring to the Western world because I think a lot of what we don't think about is how much culture we've lost being here and not being in Africa anymore. So I love the fact that we get to touch on those things. And I love seeing light being given to the orishas because again, I know all the other gods. Let me familiarize myself with the gods of my people. And so we have Lion's Cub Dream World, and it is
Yes.
where literature and fashion collide. I love two things in life: fashion. Definitely love literature. It's my passport to go other places, and fashion is my avenue to be different people or express myself with the garments that I choose. So how did you arrive at creating this dream world and fusing the two together?
Okay. I'm a July born. I'm a Leo.
Okay.
I was born July 31st.
Really?
So I'm I'm the lioness here. So that Leo cup comes, from being a Leo. So the lion cups is the children of the lion. So that was how the name came about, the lion cups. And the dream world is me being a dreamer and the writing part of it. So lion cups in like actually it was I wanted to use just lion cup, but the dream word had to come in because I think somebody already took that lion cup, so it was annoying. So I had to add the dream word. So that I could keep that name. Yes.
So if you let's talk about you being a fashion designer.
Mhm.
Let's talk about this because I love clothes. And recently, so I'm kind of trying to get in touch more with the sides of me that were lost generations ago in the transatlantic slave trade. And since it's not as simple as, other people in my country where I go, oh yeah, my people were on the Mayflower. I don't exactly know 100% where I fit, but I feel a connection with like some of the garments and some of the class and the dignity and some of the crazy style that come
Oh,
out
we
of
have the
Africa.
styles. We
You guys
have the
got
styles.
so much style. And
So much.
so tell me a
Especially
little bit about what you design. Like who is the woman that you designed
Nigeria.
for?
We are like this fashionistas of Africa. So
Yes.
Nigeria, we are crazy about fashion. Like it is part of us. The fashion it is hot, and then the food, the fashion. We are like, I'm sorry, I'm not. This is a fact. This is a fact. The scientific fact that Nigeria is
Mhm.
the fashionista of Africa. Yes, that's
Oh,
what we are.
okay. Now, do you wear, because I've always been fascinated by these, and I try to be culturally sensitive and not ask inappropriate questions, but there is a headpiece. It's called a gele,
Gele, yes.
and they are the most beautiful things. Do you ever wear
Uh-huh.
those?
Oh yes.
Do you wear them for like everyday fashion, or is it more of a special
No,
occasion?
no, it's a special occasion. For special occasion. If you're invited to a party, we call it Owambe.
Okay, okay.
It's something like a weekend thing, like every Saturday or every other Saturday thing. So you're invited to this party. Maybe somebody just gave birth, they're doing naming ceremony, or somebody is doing housewarming, or somebody is getting married. I think it's the wedding thing that is always the big one. Like you just want to like look your best. And then churches, of course, on Sundays, church on Sundays, you want to. We most churches, right? Most churches in Nigeria, they love it when you cover your hair. So when you tie the headgear, it kind of make you more corporate and just perfect for church services. So you do that. You wear that on Sundays for churches and parties. So not an everyday thing like that. No, except for Muslims. Muslims they always have to cover the hair. So it's not like an everyday thing.
Okay. Okay. So would it be just because I want to know? So if I decided that like in a business meeting, I wanted to rock like a really cool gele that matches my blazer and my blue jeans and my heels, is that inappropriate?
Blazers. No. You
No.
can't take gele with blazers. No.
Okay. That's fair. I need to know these things because I don't want to be out here like thinking, oh, I look amazing and I'm being offensive.
But if you want, if you can actually make a top like a blouse and a skirt
Mm-hmm.
that can be as corporate enough for a business meeting
Mm-hmm.
that you can tie a scarf.
Okay.
There are ways that you can do that, and it will look perfect. Like you even look better than a person wearing a blazer. Yes, yes, that's it.
So it sounds like I need to hop over to Lions Club.
I'm going to send you pictures of me tying gele. You will see it. Seriously.
Please. I love to see. And I know I've been researching and I realize that you don't like everybody ties them differently. Some are bigger than others, some are smaller than others. And
those ones that they tie very big. That's actually a comic. People want to use it to make a statement like I'm the life of the party. That's why I'm wearing my gele like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. You just taught me something new.
Fashion statement. When you see people wear that gele like that, it's a fashion statement. Like I'm the queen of this party, and I want you all to see it.
So a gele is like a crown, except for way better.
Exactly.
Oh, that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that because now I'm gonna have to get some and learn how to tie them, and you will see me again. What is this girl? What is this thing on her head? Why, young lady? So we're gonna switch gears a little bit because one of the things about excerpts is as we look to the future and where we currently are, we always have to reach back to those who went before us. So if you could sit at the feet of any one author as they write, who would you choose and why?
Okay. You know that I'm a multi-gen writer. So picking one author is going to be difficult for me.
Okay.
Because I have three major role models.
Okay.
That actually love their work, and their work has actually impacted my life and my work. Okay. So I have Danielle Steele. Danielle Steele, the way she writes a book, she draws the reader in, and she always writes heart-rending stories that are going to make you cry. And she often kills my favorite characters. I have no one. I don't understand what I did to that woman. She's always killing my favorite characters all the time. Every time I pick a book, it's my favorite character that's going to die in that book. She's so good in doing that. She's like a tearjerker kind of author. And now I have a Dana Palmer. Dana Palmer, she's unique when it comes to creating sexual relationships. She's so good at it. Like you could read 4 lines in a book and you know where this is going. It is so, she's a tease when it comes to things like that. And the third one is our own Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka brings me back to my roots, the African setting. You understand? So now for me, I merged Danielle Steele, Dana Palmer, and Wole Soyinka together, and I put it in my book. That is, I feel, that is what makes my book unique. Because when you pick any of my book, I'm telling you, this is a shameless self-promo. When my book, you're going to see these three things in it. You're going to get the characters that you are going to be able to relate with, a story that is going to draw you in, and you're going to see Nigeria live in the writing. When you're reading it, as if you know, it will feel as if you've been here before. I know this because I've gotten the feedback. Yeah, I've got the feedback.
And that is so good. That's
so yes, that is how those are my role models, and I think I've been able to hone my writing well enough to meet the standard. I believe so.
oh wow.
I believe so. So if I'm to sit at the feet of any authors, I'm going to choose these three authors because I have the three of them in my work.
That is so cool. So I have always believed that books were your passport to the world. You could go anywhere, sitting in one spot, or in my case, with my nose down in whatever electronic device that I have, because I'm now into the digital sphere when it comes to books because I'm running out of places to put all of my books. So I think it's really cool that you can write, and I've actually checked out her reviews, you guys. I can't really find any bad ones. People are very hungry for what she puts out, and it's crazy. And then if you go to her website, that I'm going to put a link to right here, you can really get snippets of the book, and even from those snippets you want to read more because it sucks you, like, immediately. It's like a vacuum. It just kind of sucks you in and you don't have any choice. And then when it's over, it's like, wait, now I need more. And so I always love when authors create those spaces, and I find it interesting that Danielle Steele inspires you and that you have no issue with killing off someone's favorite character. I like writers like you who choose violence. Is the new saying that people use, is that you're choosing violence because you're gonna take me here, you're gonna wrest all of these emotions out of me, I'm gonna be invested in this person, and then they're gonna be gone. So one of the things I like to do, because I like to make friends wherever I go, and since you're gonna be one of my first friends in Nigeria, I like to play this game called Fast Facts. And what it is it's going to be 10 questions. You just give me the first answer that comes to the top of your head. They're going to be completely random questions from the recesses of my brain. So just go with me on this. So we're going to start easy. What's your favorite color?
Coffee brown.
Coffee brown.
Coffee brown.
I like brown.
Cool.
What is your favorite place in the world to go? You could go anywhere.
My favorite place.
Favorite.
I've been to the United States, I've been to Dubai, and I've never been to Scotland, but I've read so much about Scotland. I want to go there. So I'm obsessed with Scotland right now. So Scotland is going to be my favorite place.
Okay, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Scotland can be your favorite place. They have their own magic and history and culture. Yes. And they give us, I want to say it's the Scotch that give us shanties, these fun little songs that are just very interesting.
Yes.
So we are on question number 3. Gotta keep track of this. What is your favorite comfort food after a bad day? What's the thing that you eat that just makes you feel so much better?
I love coffee. I love coffee. I'm not so into food, but I love coffee. If that can be classified as food.
Okay. So there was, I think it was Sophia Loren or some famed international beauty who made a comment about lipstick and you're not fully dressed without your lipstick. What is that one gotta have thing that you cannot leave the house without, or else you feel naked?
My phone.
Not your purse, Not your keys, but you gotta
My
have your
phone.
phone.
Because
That is,
everything is inside.
this is true. Everything,
Yeah, my
everything is
phone.
inside.
I
That
can
is so
actually
true.
withdraw with my phone. I can do anything. So my purse, oh boy, nah, my phone. I can
Okay,
transfer money. I can do anything.
I can dig it. What is your favorite book?
My favorite book
Your favorite book, and you can only pick one.
is one of mine actually. A Promise Renewed. Yes, yes. A Promise Renewed.
I love it. I
I've
loved
read
it.
I've read that book countless times, and I love the review I've been getting on it. So yeah, yes, A Promise Renewed.
I love
Another
it.
self, another shameless self promo.
No, you know what? Let me stop you there. First of all, this whole space was created for you to promote you. There is no such thing. We have no shame here. And if you plug yourself, I want you to. What would your superpower be?
I would love to have the superpower to eliminate some certain things in the human's brain, like this ability to discern that colorism, this ability to discern this colorism thing, that this one is black, this one is white, this one is this nonsense is messing with everybody's lives. I would love to have the ability to eliminate that from the human's brain so we can all finally have peace.
I love it.
It's just nonsense. It's
I
nonsense.
love it. So you're a Leo. I too am a Leo. And people assume we want to be the center of attention, but not all of us want to be the center of attention. So would you rather be the center of attention, or would you just be like to be absolutely amazing at everything you do? Which would you prefer?
The second one. I would love to be amazing. Like I am right now, actually. I don't like being said on anybody that, oh my goodness. That would make me so nervous. Like I will forget to speak. I will lose the ability to talk intelligently. Please. No, I don't want that. I want the ability to be amazing. That's it. That's it. No attention. I don't want attention.
Spoken like a true Leo woman. We are at question number 9. Who's your favorite musician? Who's your favorite musician? Yeah, that's the one.
Simi.
Simi.
She's a Nigerian. Her name is Simi. She's a Nigerian. She's a songwriter. She is so wonderful. She has this beautiful voice. She can sing, and she's so wonderful.
Oh.
You've never heard of her, right?
No, I have not.
I'm going to send you one of her records.
Please do.
I'm going to send something to you. I'm going to say a lot of things to you, so you can familiarize yourself with Nigeria. We are amazing people.
Okay, so this is the last question of our fast facts. The last question is if you could be any magical being, what would you be?
Magical being. Can I be an orisha? Can I be an orisha?
Okay.
There is an orisha in the Yoruba history. Her name is Oshun. She's a river goddess. She gives children. To the childless, and she's like a good witch. Yes, I can call her a good witch. Yes, she's a good witch. They have this white attire that is the wrap around themselves. That's the pretext. They have this the white attire and wrappers that they wrap. She's wonderful. So I would love to be an Oshun. Yes.
I like that answer. I also know who that is. Yes. Because so one of the things that I've gotten interested in, so I've always liked mythology, because mythology is how people explained everything that was going on around them.
Yes.
And I love the commonality. So if you go to any other time, if you study world mythology as a whole, you'll see a lot of similarities. And it's really interesting because we act like we're so different, but we're really not. So I love to see the same themes, concepts, and ideas in African mythology, because Roman and Greek are taught in schools, Norse to an extent is taught in schools, but African mythology is something that you have to go and seek out. And it's something now that, as I'm trying to get more connected to what was lost in the diaspora, we're
so rich. It's so rich and deep. It's so rich, and that is where the idea for my book Deja Vu, came from. And it's so engraved in it that I have so many ideas for the second book. From that, don't let me talk about it right now. Don't let me talk about it right now.
Don't tell us too much. I'm not gonna twist your arm. I'm not. But what I will say is that when you get the next book done, yes, you are welcome to come back and we can do this again and we can delve into that next book. You're so welcome. So
thank you.
Those have been our fast facts. What advice, because I meet a lot of people that want to write. Little known fact, I do actually write, but I don't use writing right now for entertainment purposes. I write a lot of marketing stuff and op-ed pieces, and I'm actually a political contributor for a magazine, but I don't get to explore like the fantasy side of writing. And one of the things people, when they read, they're like, how do you write? I just write. And I just tell them, I just write. That's just, I can't not write. But what advice would you have?
I really understand that.
You just do, like, it's ingrained in who you are. Right, it just happens. But what do you say to the person who's like, I have a story and it's chasing me around in my head and I don't know how to get it out? What do you say to encourage them to write?
Don't have doubt. Don't let doubt keep you stagnant. Just write. Don't let any outside negative voices hold you back. Just write. Even if English is not your first language, just write. No matter the problem is, even if you feel that you're not going to be grammatically correct or something is going to go wrong, whatever, don't think about that. Don't bother about that. There's a reason why there are editors. Just write. Because there's somebody somewhere waiting for that book that you're going to write, and you might actually be that person's favorite author one day. If you don't write that book, how will that happen? How will you know if you're a good writer or not? So it's always better to just write. Shut down all the negative words, all the negative voices in your head, and just write. That is it. That's my advice. Just write.
I love that. I absolutely love that. You have a mantra, and I think this is such a powerful statement. And I want to share it with my audience because you guys need to hear all of the amazing things that I get to come across. So Miss Sabrina's mantra is as follows: because I believe there are no challenges in life that cannot be surmounted, I'm all about creating the most engaging, inspiring, educational, adventurous, passionate, and thrilling experiences for my readers.
Yes.
That is, how do you find the courage and the confidence to just, this is what I believe and this is who I'm going to be?
My readers, they give me that courage every day. They give me that courage every day. If you're like a guest in my group and you come in to see the comments, they don't just comment about the book. They don't just say, oh, this chapter is good or this MC. They come at me. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. You're a great writer. You're my favorite. Someone even compared me with Daniel Steele. Can you imagine how wonderful that felt like? Like, these people, they cheer me on. They are my cheerleaders. So I don't know, that always give me the confidence to keep going. Because these are faceless people that I don't know from anywhere, They're reading all they do is they read my book. They don't know who I am. And they're coming back to encourage me, to push me to do more. This one particular reader that sent a message to me. It was a very long review. She said it personally to me. She said that she loved the way that I always ensure that my readers see what I see. So when I write about a thing, a house, that I explain everything, that I describe everything, that reader already can visualize that house in their head. So when I describe a couple and where they live, they feel like they're living in that house with those people. That even if they've never been to Nigeria before, it's as if they've walked the streets of Nigeria before. That they've been in Nigeria, they've been to Nigeria. This is a wonderful review for me to get. So when I see something like that, I know that I'm doing something right. So, and that is what I strive to achieve in every word I drop. And I'm so glad that I'm getting such feedback. So that gives me the courage, that gives me the confidence that yes, this is what I'm striving to do. And I think I'm getting there.
I love that. I love the fact that you have a village and a tribe that you lean into, because that's a common phrase that you're hearing now. Find your tribe, find your tribe, find your tribe. And I would be remiss to not mention that when you find your group of people that will cheer you on, you are truly limitless. And the odd thing about it is those people never look like familiar people to you. It will always be these different people. So I love that you have created this space that's called Lioncubs Romance. You can find it on Facebook. And this is where you can join Sabrina's tribe. You can also connect with Sabrina across social media. And I'm going to put all of the links to her social media at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. You are so welcome. But I'm going to tell you briefly where you can find her. You can find Sabrina on Twitter at Oyinloye Sabrina. And you can find her, of course, you can connect with her and her tribe on Facebook at Lioncubs Romance. You can also find her on Instagram, Sabrina Oyinloye. Darn it, I was trying so hard. I'm so sorry. I'm putting an L where it doesn't belong.
You're actually getting it. You're actually getting it.
Thank you. And then
the more you say, the better you get.
Yes. And then last, you can find Sabrina on Facebook at sabrina.oyinloye. You can also, her books are available for sale, all 12 of them. There are 12. Did I mention 12? And you need all 12 of them, not one, not two, but 12, all 12. And you can find those at author.to. You can purchase them at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. You can also purchase her books on Smashwords. From her website, sabrinaonlinereads.wordpress.com and through goodreads.com. And if you didn't catch all that, don't worry about it, because I got you. I'm going to post all of this in the credits at the end of this particular episode. I'm Glo, as I said, and I'm your host of Excerpts and Excerpts podcast. We are available wherever you stream your favorite podcast. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On Facebook and Instagram, we are Excerpts Podcast. On Twitter, we're Podcast Excerpts. We also have our own website, www.excerptspodcast.com, where you can keep up with our latest episodes. And this is where you find all the about the authors before they drop online to YouTube. Oh, and we're on YouTube too. Before we drop to YouTube, we drop to excerpts.com. So you want to be there and be in the know.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Sabrina, I have had a blast hanging out with you for the last few hours. We have had some ups, we have had some downs, but we have worked it out like we do. And I am
like, I wish this will never end now.
No,
we should keep practice.
no. This has been fun. I've enjoyed my time with you, and I'm even more going to enjoy. So I'm going to start off with the hidden scar, Tokophobia. And for whatever reason, Deja Vu, the realm surfer, is just calling me. So I'm going to read that next. And then I saw I Am Feline. Was that the title of that?
Which one?
Was it I Am Feline? Hang on, let me go.
Oh, to tame the alpha high felon.
Yes.
To tame the alpha high felon.
Yes. And that one, so y'all, her cover art, she makes the kind of cover art that it's like, oh, I'm getting this book today. I don't care what's going on. I need to read this. I don't know what's going on, but the cover, and to know that you create that on your own, I think that is so, so cool. Like,
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being in this space.
My pleasure.
And so guys, Sabrina and I have spent a couple hours together, but you only get to see a part of it. And it's not so fortunate for you because there's been laughs. I have had the best time. So, you know, we are here to elevate the voices of Black female authors. And sometimes people forget and think that it's just African Americans. No, the Black females exist in every country.
Oh, yes.
And they tell these amazing stories, and they all deserve to be told and deserve to be heard. Sabrina, do you have any closing thoughts for our audience?
Thank you, Glo, for giving me this opportunity. I actually really enjoyed this. I wish this would never end. And thank you everyone that's watching, and thank you so much for everyone who eventually picks my book. I'm going to really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your support. We all really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. So ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna say good night, goodbye. And actually, Sabrina, I'm gonna get you to do a thing because I have a thing for languages. Okay. How would I say goodbye in Yoruba?
Odabo.
Oh no, I'm not gonna try that. I'm not even gonna embarrass myself.
Come on. You can't
one more time
like that. You have to try.
Okay, one more time. Odabo.
Odabo.
Ojabo.
O.
Da.
Bo.
Ja. Bo.
Bo.
Ojabo.
Oda. Da. Odabo.
Ocha.
Oda. Da.
Da. Oh. Odabo.
Odabo. Yes.
Odabo. So, ladies and gentlemen.
See?
All right. So you know what? Hard. We're gonna close with that. So we're gonna do in 3, 2, 1. Do it together.
Odabo.
Odabo.